Hello everyone, it is finally 60 degrees outside and today I am going to put together my GreenStalk garden. This is a very nice, this is the limited edition, the Vertical Garden, the partnership they did with them, and it's super pretty. I also got the mover. When I got the first one that you see behind me, I didn't get the mover for that and I regret it because it snowed and I could have just pushed it in. But now I did. I actually bought two with this. I already assembled that one because I was too excited. It's pretty. I got the 5-tier. This is a special edition. I only had the 5-tier. The one behind me, it's a 5-tier as well. And wait, one more inside there. And there you go. So pretty, yeah? It's really great because see all this space in here? You put all the soil, but then you stack them up so the plants have a space for the roots to grow. So I already had one, loved it, decided to get a second one. So this is my second one. It is March now, and we are approaching our last frost stage. I'm going to be sowing all cold weather crops. First, let me put together this mover over here. I'm going to use the box so you can actually see what I'm doing. It's very easy. I put the other one together, I was kind of amazed. It comes with this little tube so you can direct where the water comes out of the planter. There's very simple instructions in here. There are a couple sets of wheels, 3 of them are just regular. Then you also get 3 with these little lockers in here. So when you put them in, you're gonna just put one regular, one with the lock, and etc. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get a little closer for this because it's getting really cold. Here is how it looks like. And then there's this little holes in here. You're just going to attach this thing. Very simple. And here. And that's it. Isn't it crazy? You don't even need to put anything else. So just put it in there. This one I put in here had no stopper. So I'm going to get one of those with this little, see if you can see, lockers over here. And then I'm going to go next. There we go. Very simple. Our mover is ready. I wanted to do this, going to be the base of the big planter. Right now in my front yard, or this little patio that I have, I don't have a lot of sun, but in the summer it got quite hot, so the advantage of having that is you can always push it to a shady spot if your plants are suffering, instead of having to cover them or let them suffer, or even sometimes even lose them. So for these planters, it is recommended that you use potting soil, not raised bed soil, not the garden topsoil. You should use just a potting soil to it to make sure that the plants will thrive. So just keep that in mind. They recommend the soil from Fox Farms. I couldn't get my hands into it, so I just bought this one here locally. It's from ProMix. I really like ProMix. That's where I got the bag of soil that I started all my seedlings on. So this is organic and it's a great value for the size. So it's compressed. There's 2 cubic feet in here, but actually it comes up to 4 cubic feet once I open this. So that should be enough to fill up all of my green stalks. If not, I have a little bit left over from my other ProMix bag, and let's see how it goes. And when you're working with bulk soil like this, especially if it's compressed, make sure that you're taking some time to make it really loose if you can, and break up most of the clumps. This one feels pretty dry, so I'm sure I'm gonna have to water really well after I plant the green stalk. So usually when I do seedlings and everything, I would pre-moisten the soil and then I put in the planters, but I really don't have a space to do that here. I think I'm just going to put this in here, give them a little water, and then put my seeds and then put it together and water again using the GreenStalk watering system. This soil feels really amazing. So here you go, very nice soil level. It's up to here. And if I go to my next one. Now we're going to want to put about a cup to a cup and a half of the warm castings in there. I have this container here, it's about 2 cups, so I can eyeball it. So it's a little over half its container for me. So this warm castings would be good to fertilize and feed your plants. It's a slow release fertilizer, meaning that every time you water, you will release some nutrients to your plants. Top, just with your hands, you can just go and kind of give a little if you like to. If you're adding this after you planted, you can always add around the base of your plants, just around the stems. And here are the seeds. I got some from the GreenStalk website too. It comes in this very cute little bag, so I added my other seeds to here so I can bring them outside. I'm going to do some bull's blood beets. This one has the leafy greens, are actually not green, they'll be red. They're very pretty, so I think they'll look very nice on this red planter. So I'm going to sow some of this today. I have some Japanese wasabi radish. Radishes germinate very fast and grow fast, so I am excited to see how well those are going to do there too. I also have some 5-color sweet chard. There's too many seeds in here. I'm not gonna have space for all of those, but let me try to decide here what I'm gonna grow. I'm definitely sowing those 2 different carrots in here. I love colorful veggies, so I'm also doing these Chiyoga beets. They're also called candy cane beets, at least in the restaurants that I worked at, that's how they would be called. And they're beautiful candy striped beets, and my favorite golden yellow beets as well. When you're sowing your seeds, there are instructions in the back of the depth of how deep you should sow them. For beets, you can do 3 per pocket. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be actually putting 3 varieties of beets in here, and then I'm going to put 2 kales in here. Just gonna dig a little hole in here. When you're taking off seedlings from the trays, I like to loose them up a little bit in the bottom like this, tilt the container and pick them out. So I sowed this in January. You can see that the roots are still looking really good. They're not super root bound yet. They have some they're nice and white, so they're looking like healthy roots. With my hands, I would just sort of separate the roots so it would be easier for them to acclimate. But be careful, you don't want to damage them. I'm just trying to ease it up. And then I'm going to plant this guy right here. Just put a little bit of soil around. And I'm going to put maybe a different kind of kale. I like to have variety. So I have a dazzling blue kale on this side too. So I'm going to put 1 regular and 1 blue kale. I'm going to put on this side. Put a little hole. I am going to easing them up, just loose them up. That's the word I want to say. I'm losing them up, and I'm going to plant them here. Okay, and for the seeds, I'm going to make little holes. So 3 beets in here. I'm going to do 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Now keep in mind, beets, they grow in clusters. So even 1 seed will many times will give you more than 1 seedling. So you will have to thin. But it's totally okay because the beet greens are edible and they're delicious. You can use them as microgreens, or you can put them in your salads. You can make it like garnish for your food, make it pretty. Those are yellow beets. I'm gonna put 3 seeds. I'm doing 2 rounds of yellow because yellow are my favorite beets. So I'm doing 3 in here and 3 in here. 1 more because I had an extra, so I'll put it in here, see if it will germinate. And then I'm doing 3 of the bull's blood, which is the one with the red leaves. And the last one here is going to be the Chiyoga, I say it wrong, the candy striped beets. They're very good, very sweet. I like to eat those ones raw. I use them in the restaurants that I worked at. Also, I'm going to put 2 seeds because those are older seeds from last year. So I'm just going to put these guys in here. And then after I put them in, I would just like to cover very lightly. You can water now because it's good to have some surface water. Obviously, when you put your GreenStalk, you build it up, the water system is going to help you out with that. But for now, because seeds need the surface to be moist, I am going to make sure that I water the surface, at least the top layer. And I'm also going to water the whole GreenStalk when I put back up, but just because I planted seeds in there, just to be extra cautious. And then you would put your watering reservoir system and you start stacking them up. Okay, I kind of close myself here so you guys can see what I'm planting as well. So now next, this one is the one I just planted. Then I'm going to do this guy over here. The rule of thumb when you're planting this, you want to make sure your bigger plants are in the bottom and the smaller plants are in the top, so the bigger ones don't shade your smaller ones underneath. So once you put in your GreenStalk up, think about that. So I am probably going to put my kills, the ones that I already are started for my seedlings on the bottom, and then my seeds are going to come up a little later. They're going to probably stay towards the top. But I'm going to put seeds in every layer because I want to make sure that because now I don't have some with sun, I want to get sun halfway. The plants that would be in the front or getting direct sun, they will be the ones that have started. And then those seeds that are planted in the back, I can rotate once I get more sun. So I'm going to put this beautiful red switchard that I have here. I think this one is the Vulcan chart. I have planted different varieties, but I haven't labeled all of them. So don't forget to label your seedlings so you don't run into the same problem. Okay, we think you're gonna remember, but as it goes, you usually don't remember. Oh, look at that! The roots are actually red in this one. So pretty. Okay, let me put this in here. This guy too, which I think is gonna look very pretty too, having the red come up in here because the planter itself is so pretty pink. And I'm going to put I also want to plant one more kale because I truly love eating kale, so I'm gonna do one more kale in here. And I want to do a kohlrabi as well. Kohlrabi is in the broccoli family. If you haven't tried it yet, the brassica family. It's really, really good. This is a purple variety. You can eat it raw. You can make floss. You can ferment it. You can make white kimchi with it. You can just ferment regular with salt. It's a cross between radish and cabbage, so it's a little bit sweeter, and it grows above the soil instead of growing underneath like a radish would. So it's kind of cool. They grow really fast. I planted the seeds at the same time and see how much bigger this one is. It's kind of, hopefully you guys can see some too shady. And there you go. Now I'm going to put seeds in here. I'm going to sow some carrot seeds. So let me just put. Now carrots are a little tricky because the seeds are so small. So you most likely will have to tin it too. I don't particularly like tinning carrots because I like to save my seeds, but at the same time you could plant some radish. The good trick to save it is like you can put some radish in between because carrots are notoriously slow growers. So if you plant some radish with them, the radish will come up much sooner, and then you can pull them up, and then by then the carrots are there, all come together. So many gardeners will do that and do pull the plant both together. I'm going to plant the carrots first. They're very small seeds, so you kind of just surface sow. I'm planting these yellow carrots and there's black carrots in this layer. Hopefully I can just do yellow. Okay, very small seeds, so you just kind of lightly press the soil on top. Then I'm going to do another, the black carrots. And then the last one, I'm just going to do this regular orange carrots over here that I planted. Those are the first seeds that I ever bought. Those are going to, so I had a 3-color situation. This grew very well for me last spring. So I'm going to just surface sow them. I'm putting a lot on this one because it's a little bit, like I said, older seeds. And slightly press the top. There we go. I'm going to keep going with this guys here. Once you finish, press the top. You put your little planter. You can also label them in here. I ran out of random things. I don't want to buy more seeds. Actually, this guy should be here. And then this guy. Okay, so I said I was gonna plant some radishes with those carrots. I have these radishes over here. I'm just going to throw a few seeds in there. Oops, a little more than a few. Now, there's a few other varieties of radishes that would take a little longer, like a watermelon radish. I really like watermelon radish, so I'm thinking that I'm going to sow some too to the next layer. Watermelon radish and some wasabi. Green Japanese wasabi radish. I never tried that, but I'm very excited to try. So we're gonna go here. This is and I'm also gonna grow some spinach at the top. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Just direct slowly. I have so many seeds in here. I couldn't really decide before this video what I want to do. But here's the Japanese wasabi radish and my watermelon radish. Here, I'll plant this too. Just have just regular radish in here too. Not sure if I can plant those or not. Got some lettuces. And I also have some daikon radish that I'm planting here. Those might take a little longer than the little radishes that I planted with the carrots. So these guys are going to get its own place. I never planted them before. So this also says 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to put 3 of them in here too. In the pockets. So I'm going to do some daikon radish in here. Since I'm not labeling them, it's going to be fun. It's going to be kind of like a surprise once I harvest. But there we go. There's some daikon radish in here. Daikon is delicious pickled. You can make kimchi with it. So I really like buying daikon. So just decided, hey, I'm gonna probably get some, plant some too. And then watermelon radish is very, very pretty. Yeah, it looks like a watermelon. So those two guys are going here. Hopefully germinate fast. And the one I'm most excited about, I'm probably going to do 2 trays of them. The Japanese wasabi radish. I love wasabi, and if this really does taste like wasabi, I'll be super happy. I'm probably going to sow a few extra sprouts, even with the plants that I'm going to plant, to eat as a sprout. Taste it and see if they would be a little bit spicy like wasabi as well. So just scoring them up here. And this guy here, I'm gonna transfer some spinach. Okay, so spinach, I think I'm gonna put maybe 2 on each pocket, because I wanted to eat some. I did not grow spinach successfully last fall. It just didn't grow for me. It got too hot. When I planted first and bolted because it was too hot. Then I planted again and bolted because it was too cold. So I just didn't have much luck with spinach last year. So let's give it a try again now in the spring. Let's see how that goes. Put in the other guy. Planting 2 per pocket here because I want to make sure I use this space wisely. I also have a very pretty pink shard that I'm going to put in here. So let's see how it's going to look like. I didn't really do very well with this. I actually damaged the root, so hopefully it will grow. We shall see. I think shard is one of the ones that also are sensitive to root disturbance, so let's see. And then, okay, I have these things left here. On the top one for now, I'm going to sow some spinach seeds to see the difference. from direct sown and from started earlier. See if I have a bit more better look. The 3, I don't know, 2. Okay everyone, everything is planted. It's finally time to put this green stalk together. So first I'm going to put all the watering discs on it. And this is the mover. I'm going to plant them on top of the mover. Let's do this. The mover was in the bottom. I'm going to make sure it's locked first. And I want this one to go first in. Just going to assemble it. I'm turning. It's not locked actually. Turning the greens to the front. Just make sure it locks. You will lock perfectly. You feel it in the right spot. Actually, I'm going to turn this one over because of that. Start the green there. Make sure all of these greens are facing the same direction for the sunlight. It's spring right now, and I still have limited sunlight in my space. Okay, so here it is. We have 2 green stalks up now. Super excited. Those guys, I'm gonna fix it, make sure I have space for everything. Thank you so much for watching, and it was a bit of a longer video. If you have any questions and comments about the green stalk or how to put it together, please make sure to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.